So just dropped by Linton Cemetery. I did want to go right up the top end, but they're busy mowing lawns and everything. So once again, good to see taking care of some of the old country cemeteries. So I'll have a wander through some of the middle sections. Won't go too far up the top there. H.A. Kerr, 14th Battalion, 16th of September 1966, age 79. Thanks for your service. A couple more, Walter James Kerr and Teresa Kerr, and there's a bit of a horseshoe there, so obviously they're involved in horses. Ivan George Kerr, 2020. Yeah. Nice. Bit of grass there, but there's cleaning it off. At least she does. Fletcher, Lee Jr., Mancy, McCorkle, Werner. Another Fletcher over the back there. This cemetery here is we've been to a couple of times. Really nice cemetery, nice energy. I think once we had something a little bit negative up the top end, right up the top end there. We're not heading that way because that's where they're mowing the lawns. But just give you a bit of an insight, this shot, as to the size of the cemetery, and down the bottom end there's about as much distance as well. It's just nicely set up. Some nice old ones around. And here's another one that's got here's a Lieutenant Corporal William George Pike, 58th Battalion, 1919. Got my K2 again, so if anybody's around and wants to show us that you're here, please do so. And I'll certainly show you if it starts going off. Alexander, Lachlan and James Lowe. And this, how cool is this? You've got the tree has grown through the metal. How cool is that? Eventually the tree's dying off. No neighbours. I have to excuse the wind, there's quite a bit of wind up here, it's a very hilly area. To show you some of the older graves here. K2 hasn't been doing anything just yet. That's okay. Donald Calder, Mary Calder. Sometimes it's just nice to come up and have a bit of a look. Just remember some of these names. Now these numbers here, they're all allotted plots to be. John Calhoun, Christina, Flora, Alexander, Catherine. Oh, we have like a little anchor. That's pretty cool. Looks like an anchor of some sorts. George Goodwood, 63 years. If there's anyone around like to touch this meter that I'm holding at any stage, please do so, just to show you around. Would rather appreciate that. John Rankin, Catherine Ferguson, William, Thomas L. Anderson, and Mary Ann. Sending a lot of respect to people who lay here. Jane, Walter Snedden, John, Walter Snedden, and Elizabeth. Right. John Main, Elizabeth. George Lowe, died in 1872, aged 46 years. John Robertson, Jean as well. Here's a name that we know, William Stoddard. James Francis William Stoddard departed his life. I wonder if that's a Stoddard that made all the statues in Ballarat. There's quite a few statues in the gardens in Ballarat made by a Stoddard. I think it was William. It's quite a substantial grave, this one. Vera Emma Stoddard died at the age of 31. Never know what you're going to find behind the trees. McFadzean. M. Fadzean. Too sure about that? Robert Blunt. Robert James Blunt. W.G. Bennett, 1903, and also his wife Susan. Anne Cochrane, Robert Yu, George Oswald. K2 has not been going off at all. Either you get something or you don't get something. But if there are any spirit around that wish to put their energy onto this, please do so. We've got a little garden section here too. This is a section that we don't normally come to. We've got a fresh grave there. So lots of blessings, a couple of older ones around the back there. We'll come over this way. Blessings to the freshie. Look, some of these older ones down the bottom here. It's nice to see, you know, a few flowers around. Some of the graves that are a little bit older here. No name on this one. To memory of William White, died in Linton, 1900, age 76. Margaret, 1861. Elizabeth, 1908. William, 1929. Christina, 1937. And Elizabeth, 1925. So it's quite a sizable one here. Oh dear, a bit of a broken one up here. Don't think they made the lid too well there. Sacred to the memory of Mary Ann Reid and John Robert Reid and Alan Reid. William Harvey died 1902 and Hannah Harvey 1889. Sophia 1859. Well, Sophie 1859. Sophia. Sofa. Okay. 1860. John 1863. Anne 1863. John. Another John 1865. And a James 1866. Elizabeth in 1868. And a Mary in 1869. Gone but not forgotten. It's a mouthful. Little one here we can't really read, and there's nothing on this, but at least it's been popped up there to show that there is somebody there. Older one over there too. Post in the middle of it. We're going to have a look. Again, no names or anything. This one's Catherine Stratton and Christopher John Stratton. I'm just standing over the top of a grave there. Nearly walked over the top of it. Excuse me. Much respect to you, whoever you be. Ruby Lyle, Christopher John. Oh dear. Got one that's fallen over here. Plant it back up there. Hopefully the wind won't blow it over again. Any little fella. Little angel with a little flute. K2 has not been going off at all. Fella from Cornwall who died in Linton in 1862, the age of 28 years. Not old at all. Over here, right underneath the tree, we've got James Hill who died in 1862. A little bit worse for wear, this one. A couple of older ones over here too. 1866, Alexander Hart Sean. Oh, it's half broken. George Lannerton Hooper. Or George L. Anton Hooper, and his wife Mary. Mark Shepherd, who died in 1864, and Mary Broadstock Shepherd, Joseph Shepherd, and Ernest Shepherd.
Xbox. Danny. FM.
Anyone around who would like to say hello, please do so. I think it's rather quiet at this stage. A lot of bushland around, as you can see. Hello there. Anyone like to say hello? Agnes, Alberta. Quite a big one here. Althea G. Wilton. He died February 22nd, 1890. Quite a good sized one. We've got a couple of newer ones here which we won't look at too hard. Anyone at all want to say hello? Get out? You want us to get out? It's not very nice. Just come here to pay some respects and to say hello. If you don't want to talk to us, that's fine.
Admiring the view and how beautiful it is here. My name's Bethany.
Anyone want to say hello?
I've been here before. A while though. I was here last time when we landed on a horse from the hill.
Seems very quiet on the S-Box. All good. You either get something or you don't get something. Charles Peter Nelson. Sarah Jane Nelson. Edward James Clark. Use some of that wrought iron there. It's never a good idea to use some of the wrought iron. It actually just crumbles away after a while. Ambrose mural. Mary. Quite a good one. Is that somebody saying hello? Got a Thomas Trevorrow. Died in 1884. And Emma, a G.H. Smith and a Herbert Victor. Emma Keys. Oh, I heard somebody then. You speak up a little louder for us. There's an Edna as well. There's an interesting one. I don't know if we can read this. Can't quite read the writing there. It's certainly an interesting shape for a...
Elizabeth.
You got Elizabeth? Oh yeah, Elizabeth on the side here.
William.
Here we go.
Can't read the middle name.
Elizabeth Sarah
Williams.
Williams. It's quite an
19.
interesting shape one.
1910.
There you go. It's pretty cool. We've got a couple of the bigger ones here too. Frederick Chasey, by the looks of it, aged 70 years, and a Mary Bloss Chasey. We're not going to venture up the top there, which is a shame because I rather like it up the top, but we'll come back another day and go and have a look up the top. But I hope you've had an enjoyable look at this little part of the Linton Cemetery. It's only just a small part we wandered through. Catch you again soon. Cheers.